Control Builder F provides an easy way of creating sequential function charts for the automation of recurring procedures. In our example, it makes sense to create a sequential function chart for the startup of the plant. The first step is to implement an SFC program in the project tree. Therefore, we insert a new task into the user task list. Afterwards, we insert an SFC program below. Select the new task, open the context menu and choose Insert Next Level SFC Program. Name the new SFC program and open it via context menu. The programming environment appears. Here we define the structure of the SFC by adding steps and transitions and connecting them with horizontal and vertical lines. The programming environment is structured into rows and columns, where the components can be inserted. An SFC always begins with an initial step and ends with a transition. In our case, we will include 4 steps and transitions simply connected by vertical lines. Each step and transition has to be named. To insert the initial step of our SFC program, we select a field, open the context menu and choose the component initial step out of the component list. The component that is supposed to be included is marked with a hook. After naming the initial step, we select the next field and insert a vertical line using the context menu again. Now we insert a transition. It will activate the next step when it is fulfilled. The insertion of the next steps and transitions is performed in the same way. Now that we have completely defined the structure of the SFC, we go back to the project tree. As you can see, all transitions and steps have been automatically generated in the project tree below the SFC program. Now we will define the actions for each step and the criteria of the transitions. Therefore, each step and transition needs to have an own program allocated. A program is processed as long as the related step or transition is active. In our example, we always use the function block diagram type. As Control Builder F automatically allocates the inserted program to the related step or transition, the user does not have to do this manually in the parameter mask. Now I would like to explain some different program functions. In the initial step, we want all process devices to be set to manual operating mode, so that the process is not running on its own at the beginning. Therefore, we need a Boolean constant set to true, which is connected to the manual variables. In addition, the inverted value is connected to the automatic mode variables. Instead of a second Boolean variable, we simply insert an inverter. Before we start the pump NP10 in the next step, we want to check if the device is faultless. Therefore, we check if the fault signal NP10 FLT is false. The output variable .result is a variable used to represent the state of the transition. True means that the transition is fulfilled. Afterwards, we want the inlet pump NP10 to be started. Therefore, we set the processing mode to automatic. The loop controller LC10 also has to be set to automatic mode, since it controls the positioner, which opens the valve of the inlet pipe. The programming of the following steps and transitions is similar to what we did before. Therefore, we skip it here. Now we specify the SFC parameters for the operation mode. To set the parameters, open the SFC programming environment and choose Parameters of SFC out of the Edit menu. Here you can decide whether the SFC is started automatically or manually, whether the operator can switch the operation mode and so on. Since we do not want the SFC program to start automatically, we set manual as operation mode. We disable the SFC as we want to enable it via a variable. Therefore, click the tab Variables and insert the name of the enabling variable to the text field Enable under Input Variables. In our case, we use the variable startup en. This variable is controlled by the following function block diagram. Now we want to visualize the new SFC on Digivis. Therefore, we insert an SFC display below the operator station OS1 in the project tree. Select the operator station, open the context menu and choose Insert SFC Display. It is mandatory to assign the SFC to the display. Therefore, select the display and choose the Edit option out of the context menu. Press F2 and select the SFC program name. Now that we have created an SFC program and assigned it to an SFC display, we can perform an overall plausibility check. You see there are no errors. Switch to commissioning mode and download the process station and the operator station. After download is complete, we switch to Digivis and start the SFC. We first open the graphic display to have an overview of the entire process. Afterwards we open the SFC display. By the way, note that the SFC display has been created automatically. Below the display, the SFC controls are shown. If the SFC is running, you can see its progress. By using these controls, we can operate the SFC. We can change the operating mode into automatic or manual, run or stop, enable, disable or reset the SFC, or operate it in tip operation mode. Now let's start the SFC. Since the tank level is lower than min2, the SFC is enabled. We simply switch it to automatic mode. Now we switch back to the graphic display to see how the SFC takes effect on the water plant process. At first, all process devices are set to manual mode. If pump NP10 works correctly, the signal NP10 FLT is false and the next step is activated. Now the pump NP10 and the LC10 are set to automatic mode. To pass the next transition, the tank level has to be higher than min1. The next step starts the outlet pump NP21. The following transition supervises the pressure P21. If it exceeds 10 bar, the next step is activated. Now the output flap NS21 is opened. The tank level will now be controlled by LC10. After the outlet flap has reached its end position, the SFC is completed. In this session, we learned how to insert an SFC into the project tree, how to define the SFC structure, how to set the SFC parameters, how to insert and allocate programs to steps and transitions, how to create an SFC display for the operator station, and how to operate an SFC in Digivis.